T, how have you been?
Yeah, I've been really good. Really good. Thank you. Yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you very much. So, before we get stuck into your rugby story, mate, where was home for you as a kid and who lived at home with you?
So I was born and bred in Western Sydney, Australia, in St Mary's. This place called St Mary's, and with my mum, my dad, my older sister, and two younger brothers. We all grew up together. Um, Very lucky to have all of them.
So, is that where the competitiveness comes from, mate? Having younger brothers and showing them who's boss and stuff.
I wouldn't say that. It's positive, so it's always competitive, but in a good way. But I wouldn't say that. It's we always pushed each other, I guess, to be better. So in every way, not just on the field as well, so off the field. But that comes a lot from my parents, my mum especially, and my dad. But my mum, yeah, my mum's a big one on that.
Right, mate. So, how was you introduced to rugby and where was your first club, T?
So I actually started when my dad was playing in France. My dad was playing for Catalan Dragons, 2006 to 2008. So he done 3 seasons. I went over there when I was four, and started playing for a local team called St Esteve. That's where it all started for me, and yeah, and then yeah, just stayed there and learned how to started playing rugby at that age at a very young age. So
How was the setup then? Do you remember much about playing as a kid at that age?
I do. I just remember that it was just a lot of running around, a lot of fun. It was just for us as kids. Like you do, just having fun. Um, yeah, there wasn't much structure and stuff like that. I was just starting to learn how to play as well, and I had my dad as well. He would come watch. My dad and mum would come watch my games, and we'd have little runarounds against other little kids and stuff. So
Would it have been contact to you, or was it like tag, with the little like coloured
nah, no, it was
thing?
contact. Yeah,
Was
we
it?
learned. Yeah, yeah, it was
Right.
contact. I didn't really like it back then, but I don't think so. Can't remember much of it.
Wouldn't think it, mate, would you? So what's the school set up like in France, mate? Is rugby part of what they do?
So yeah, look, when I went back, obviously going back when I was 16 to France, 17 almost. I didn't play footy. I didn't go to school. Over there, it was coming to that age where it was like the end of school sort of thing, and I was pretty nervous and shy as well, and timid when I went over, not knowing how to speak the language and that either. So, I know that the boys that I played footy with, they went to school, and it was, yeah, like you're a student first and then you play footy. That's how it sort of was over there.
So did after the third season that your dad played, did you go home? Did you stick around?
Yeah, after the third season that my dad played in France, we went back to Australia, back to where we were from, and then yeah, obviously I was eight then. By the age of nine, I was playing in a club over there. Then yeah, just pretty much started my life over there.
How was it going back, mate? Was as a kid you sort of I guess you're like oblivious to that sort of thing, aren't you?
Yeah, when I think of it now, I'm very lucky to say that I've traveled a lot in my as a young person, and it just pushes me to even want to travel even more, to be honest. But I'm very lucky to yeah to go over. Have seen the world, but going back to Australia, I think that was hard. It was hard to readapt, I'd say, but it wasn't just hard for me. It was hard for my brothers, my sister, my parents, especially as well. To try move all the family back again. Um, that was hard. That was hard for them, but yeah, very grateful.
That's the thing fans don't see, mate, in it. As a family, the uproot that it causes, moving furnitures, vehicles, like lives, everything.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's always one. When I'm not gonna be angry and be pissed off or say anything mean about people, but I think that they see that when you're privileged when you're a rugby league player or you're a professional athlete, but there's a lot behind closed doors that people deal with, that we all deal with, and it is hard. There's like moving families. Like we were young as well, and for my parents to move there and then move back, we were very lucky, yeah, 100%, but it wasn't easy.
Or they don't see you Monday to Friday, mate. They just see your game there, not the sacrifice you have to make. And like for
Yeah,
instance, now you mentioned off recording about you were living with Tyler and that, but your family have no doubt back home, aren't they? And
Yeah.
you won't get a lot of chance to see him or FaceTime him and things, will you?
No, no, exactly. And obviously having my brother over in Australia, my sister's in Australia, and my uncles, my grandparents, and then that everyone's in Australia or New Zealand, and not being able to talk to them or going to see them when that it's hard. But I don't look at that because I feel like the boys in the team as well, in any team, they sacrifice so much as well to to live out their dreams. So you can't really be selfish like that. My parents are in France. They're only an hour flight away from where I am. Some of the boys, all their families in Australia or New Zealand, and they have to wait for the whole year to go past before they get to go see them. So I'm actually very lucky as well.
Beaches in Wigan are all right as well, aren't they, mate?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so the rugby setup then back in Western Sydney, mate. How does that work, and how did you find it going back playing rugby?
Yeah, that was different. Playing against, fellas back there that now today I play in NRL. Playing with a couple of blokes as well that now play NRL or play professional rugby league is it's crazy when you think about it, but that's the game back there. That's how it is, and the setup is, yeah, it's different. I wouldn't say it's better or worse. I think that they live for that. Whereas you come to France or go to England, and it's not cultural as it is in Australia. I think in England it's a lot more cultural than it is, but in France it's not. The culture over there isn't just rugby league. It's more rugby union, for example, or soccer, football. Sorry, football.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get it, mate.
So it's different. It's different.
Yeah. So growing up, mate, was playing rugby the ultimate ambition? Did school get in the way of that a little bit, or was you all right at school?
I dropped out of school when I was 15. It wasn't because I was a bad person to my teachers or anything. I think I just went there for more about seeing the boys and hanging out with friends
Oh,
and
sure.
talking.
Yeah.
And obviously my parents weren't too happy about it at the time. So but my dad said, if you want to leave school, you got to work. And I went to work, and that the harsh reality of that is that you got to get up every day and go. So
Mm.
that changed a lot for me as well.
So how was rugby through the age grades, mate? And was there ever an age where you felt you'd kicked on and you were like on top of your opposition rather than just matching them?
No, look, I went through playing as a youngster in Australia and all that stuff. I wasn't in any rep sides, any caught up to any sides like that. I just was always just going through, actually, just through the motions. It was never really a massive. It was my goal, but I never my dream, but I never really thought of it to be possible. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was a hard one, but yeah.
Yeah, because I imagine with it being up there with like the top two sports, mate, the pool is massive that teams can choose from. Well, we
Oh,
think it's big here, but it's not as big as there, is it?
yeah, yeah. Like we would have under nines, for example, over there, and there'd be one, division two, division three, division four, all the way down to division five or six. Like there's heaps of teams. There's always, which is really good. That's why that sport over there is one of the highest played over there in Australia and New Zealand. So it's massive.
And then when did teams start showing an interest, T? And do you think
Uh
working out,
yeah.
because you're in a grown-up world sort of thing?
Yeah, well, I worked all the way when I was in Oz for about 2 years. Well, actually, I started working when I was 14, but I was still at school. I was working at Macca's part time at McDonald's. That taught me a lot, and then went and started doing bricklaying. Started an apprenticeship there and
You could have
then
picked something easier, T, couldn't you?
no, but my dad said to me that oh, you've chosen a tough one, but it will teach you, right, like how to work. So
Yeah.
it was good though. It was enjoyable, and I learned a lot from that as well, like life experiences. And then when I went over to France, I was working as well. in abattoir, the big boss for the Catalan Dragons. So that was his. He has his big butcher, big had a massive abattoir, big meat distribution. Um, yeah, and I was working there until pretty much I debuted.
Okay, so would you say you probably matured a lot sooner than most your age due to being in the adult world as a young man, really?
I wouldn't say that because I think I'm still a kid in a lot of ways. But I think that I knew that I had obligations and I knew I had responsibilities. I think that's what sort of came to it. I would say, I wouldn't say matured quicker than other people, but I think that I learned a lot more and than certain people. But I still had my mum and dad that were there, and I was still living at home most of the time. So they always looked after me. So if anything was wrong, or if anything didn't go wrong, I wasn't in the big wide world by myself. You know what I mean?
How are you allowed to work at 14 without?
Oh, you're allowed to work, especially at McDonald's in Australia. Like you're allowed to work
Yeah,
when you're 14, but you're only allowed to do a certain amount of hours, and it's just pretty much teaching you and stuff like that. You're not on mass money, but it's just
yeah,
that back then when you're getting that money, you're pretty excited because
yeah. Feel
you know,
like a boss.
yeah, you feel like you're a
Yeah,
man. So that was good.
yeah. Right, mate. So, what age did you come back then
I came
to
back.
France?
I came back to France. I was in 2017. I
Right,
was almost 17 then. So yeah, almost 17 when I came back.
right, and getting back in, mate. How was that? How are you in a new environment?
I'd say that I really underestimated coming back. I think for me it was probably the hardest transition coming back to France. Because I thought it was just going to be easy, and then coming back and I forgot how to speak French. I didn't know how to say a word, and then really pretty much relearning it again at my age, and
Yeah.
that I was lucky that I had footy and my mates at footy that could speak like little bits of English that could help me out with. But yeah, it was tough, but I was very lucky again. So
How would you communicate, mate? Would it be hand signals? Would it be like the basics, like sticking your hands up for the ball, clapping, whistling? How did that
oh
work?
yeah, like that I've on the footy field and that just obviously that have players that call things English since rugby is an English game. They have players that are English, so you just learn. But I know that I had what's it called? I used to talk with Google Translate all the time, and that was massive. I used to
Yeah,
always
little
like just
rescue.
yeah, I used to when I was off the field trying to talk to the boys and they couldn't understand me, so I
Yeah.
just have to write a Google Translate and then that Google Translate it back.
So without you knowing, mate, you're mega resilient anyway, aren't you? Because you've been in an adult world still as a kid. No offense, at 14, you're still a kid, mate, aren't you,
Yeah,
T? And
yeah,
then
100%.
you've travelled into various places that aren't just an hour away, like you said. You've come from
Yeah,
Southern Hemisphere, you've come over to France, mate. You've done the whole culture thing as a kid, which I think is easier as a kid in it, T, because you're just riding a wave as a kid, mate.
yeah. I think when you're young, but you don't really see that either. Those you don't really get to see. You don't really think that it's a big jump. You just go with the flow. You go with what your family's doing, and then get to an age when it's a lot more difficult because you get to the age where you start recognizing things or things, and it's hard. It is hard, but like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and complain. I'm very lucky to be where I am today, and I'm very lucky to have very lucky to have my parents that have given me everything. So
And you've not been work shy though, mate. You've earned it as well, haven't you? You've got to
yeah, that's
contribute as well, mate, haven't you?
yeah. Well, I come from a family of workers. From my great grandparents all the way to now, all of them are workers. Everyone, we work hard. That's just we've always been like that. Our whole family's like that. Nothing was given. So a lot of people.
How was it feeding into the team, mate? Did it take long to establish yourself in the 13, or did you have to bide your time a little bit?
Where was this in France?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I wasn't like I played just local club footy when I was in France. So, and plus I was the first time I was going to be able to play with my brother as well in the same age group. He was
All
coming
right,
up to play
okay.
with us, so we were allowed to play together, and it was fun. It was really fun. It was different, different experience. They're very passionate, the French. Um, And yeah, very different. I'd say the footy.
Right? And where do you learn to develop what you need to do in certain areas? So, for instance, like you just said, the French rugby was different to back home, and it's probably different to here. So, how do you adapt your game, or can you stay true to who you are and play what you see, sort of thing?
Yeah, I'd say like I learned a lot of things. Obviously I was still very young, so I'm still learning. But
Yeah.
yeah, then I was just keen, had an open mind about learning things, and there's things that I wanted to keep, you want to keep from your game as well. That's what makes you unique. That's what makes you a unique player as well. So that's what I'd say.
Right, and how did the Catalans move come about, mate? Did they keep an eye on you once you returned and you were playing local footy?
Yeah, well, when I returned, I was playing local, and then the year after that first year went by, we won the comp with my brother. Then we went. I was in there, got caught up into the academy team that Catalans had. Um, played there for a year, and they stopped academy, and then I was playing for the reserve grade team for Dragons. That's when I started playing senior footy.
Did you notice a step up in standard, mate?
Oh, 100%. It's I'd say that the Elite One competition in France when I started going when I was 18 playing there. It was tough playing then because you're playing against men for one, and men that have a life that knew who my dad was as well. So a lot of them would try to take me head off.
Gonna say you did that in the a little bit of that, mate.
Yeah, they'd be into me. They were into me, but yeah, I think I had the wrong mentality when I first went up there, and I think that I started learning. Obviously, I was learning. I still am, but learning to how to cope with certain things, and when people are like that, what to do, and but yeah, that's just what you learn when you come through the senior footy, especially. It's very different to playing against guys your own age.
What viewers and listeners won't know though, mate, a lot of seasoned professionals play Elite One, don't they? So it's
Yeah,
like you're probably having to throw a few just to show that you're not to be bullied.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's where a lot where I went wrong as well. Where it was,
Yeah.
they'd push me, and then it would just be take a little bit, and then I would end up hurting the team, and yeah, I took that all the way through until that's why I probably didn't get to debut a lot earlier as well, because I had discipline issues and stuff like that with my on the footy field, and it was only hurting me, not anyone else.
At least you recognise that, T, didn't you? Like, because that is what life is. Life is a lesson,
Yeah, 100%.
right? So when you're in and around them fellas, mate, they, you probably touched on it, but with a marker being over your head, did did you did it take long to create your own image because you were linked with like family name?
Yeah, I think that's what I love about my family as well is that they never, as much as everyone would say it, it's hard to let it go when they say, oh, your dad's this or your brother's that. And, everyone, even my brother himself, we want to make a name for ourselves and not live off the back of my dad's name. That's always a big one. Both my brothers, sorry, and my sister, we were trying to live off our own name and make our own name for ourselves. And it's trying to do the right thing as well, not to be an idiot sort of thing, you know.
So when you go into reserves, mate, how's your game matured, and how are you finding being back in France at this point? I imagine you're pretty settled at this point.
Yeah, well, but when that happened, when I was in reserve grade, I was pretty much almost fluent by then. Like I picked up French really quickly. Um, it took me a while until yeah, I was playing consistent the first year, and then obviously my attitude went a bit terrible. And the second year, and then I was actually very lucky that COVID happened and that my season stopped because I wasn't playing good at all, and probably they probably wouldn't have kept me in reserve grade. My attitude was just wrong, and then yeah, just the next year after that, a lot of things changed for me that year. Um, I got caught up to start training for full time, like back into my season with the Dragons, and And then when I got up there with, and my brother Joe was already up there playing pretty much. When I got up there and started training full time, I just knew that's when I sort of realized this is what I really want. I don't want to do anything else apart from play footy. Like I love footy. Like this is my dream, and I can do it, sort of thing.
Suppose you're being held accountable for smaller actions, aren't you? Because you're climbing the level, so the video will pick up on any minor thing
Yeah,
or foot like even little things you didn't realise you were doing to you, wouldn't it? Like footwork or positioning on the floor, like speed around play balls, things you've probably overlooked because you've been allowed to.
yeah, 100%. That was a big one that they taught me there. Just a lot of different things. Like I said, man, I can't say it enough. How I'm still learning, but there's so much that I thought I was doing all right, and when you get up there with the big boys, you just learn that I'm nowhere near where I need to be.
Yeah.
But also a good thing because you sort of hold yourself accountable for training properly and all that stuff, getting yourself right and learning.
Was you never overwhelmed, T?
Hey, sorry, what was that?
Was you never overwhelmed, mate? Because it's quite a big step up, isn't it? Again, reserves to first team.
Yeah, 100%. It was yeah, big. It was a bit overwhelming, for sure, going up there at first and that, and especially because my brother was already there as well. I didn't want to ruin anything or do anything wrong by him. I wanted to make sure that I was, he is my little brother, but I wanted to make sure that I was doing the right things and making him look good as well, not just myself.
I suppose, mate, you're always going to be nurturing, but also you've got to let each other breathe and develop as well, haven't you, mate? It's a fine balance, isn't it? It's difficult.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It is a difficult one, but like I said, not many people can say that they got to play in the same game as their brother professionally as well. And I can truly say that, and that's one thing that I hold close to me.
So it's very special, mate, and it's very, very rare.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
special, especially for our family. I was very proud of that moment. That's probably one of my proudest moments.
Yeah. So when did you find out the debut was coming and how was that week building up?
Um, so it was actually yeah, 2022 came around and I was still playing reserve grade. I went back down to reserve grade to play, and I just come off um training full time with the Dragons, and I didn't get called back to train with them. So at the start, and I was obviously a bit bummed and very a bit upset and all that stuff, and then played the whole season reserve grade, and then after the last game, I called my dad up and was a bit upset because it was finished and I wanted to go back to Australia, just to work, and was going to stop playing footy. Um, then I think it was a couple of days later after that last game we played, and the coach gave me a call and asked if I would like to come up back and train full time, and there was a few of us, and I trained. I was working as well at the same time. I was working 4:30 in the morning to 8:30 a.m. and then I was going straight to training from there, which was only 5 minutes down the road. So I
Yeah.
said yes to that. But yeah, I got there was a few of us in there training, and it was pretty much like a mini preseason for us that were from reserve grade. They just wanted to get us up to standard. We were getting smashed, and it was the middle of summer, so we are getting smashed every day, running and gym and all that stuff, which was good because we were all fit. Um, but they told us none of us were going to play that year. That it was just they already had a big squad, and we were just there to get ready for the next season, and they were keeping an eye on us. And like footy, what happens in rugby league, that things happen. And
Yeah.
yeah, about 3 weeks out from me debut, and I went back into my dad's office, and I was upset again. Like I was exhausted. I was also working as a personal trainer, so I was doing that in the afternoon after training. I was coaching and training little kids, like a little group of a footy team. So I think I was exhausted and that, and a bit emotional, and told my dad I was gonna go. Like I've had enough. And then yeah, he just told me, and my mum, and they both just told me just to stick with it, like just to keep grinding at it and chipping away. And then yeah, got a call from from McNamara after one of the captain's runs where I was in the 21 and three players got injured on captain's run. And he called me up and he's like, "Oh, you're going to be debuting tomorrow." And yeah, it was wicked. It was a mad thing, especially because my brother was playing as well. So I remember the phone call. Then I got upset on the phone, like I'm emotional. Then called my mum up, and my mum was emotional as well. My little brother Cookie was very emotional. My sister, and then called my old man, my dad, and he's just like, "Oh, well, that's good. Now you got to prove it." Just very blunt and
Reality.
just straight to the point, which was good. He was very proud there, but
Yeah.
very made sure that it's just one thing to get named to debut. It's another thing to go out there and play good. So and then yeah, told Joey, my brother, and yeah, went on to game day and was sitting in the sheds, and then my brother was the one that presented my jersey to me before the game.
I like that.
And that was very emotional. That was fun. It was good, but yeah, didn't get the result we wanted on the from the game.
It's a start, mate, isn't it? It's the start of what was to come, which must. So how was it seeing your name on the back of a jersey, mate, hung up? How was that?
Oh, it was wicked. It's just like heaps very emotional, I guess, because that's sort of it was pretty surreal. You sort of dream about that, and I know that a lot of people would love to be in that position and that, and even myself, like not even a month ago, I didn't want to play anymore, and I was going to stop, and getting that opportunity to play and seeing that, it was wicked. It was yeah, very surreal to think that my dreams started like it could be coming true.
And I imagine all them R4 get-ups, the Bricky apprenticeship, the part-time at Mackey's, the abattoir was all worth it in that moment, mate, I imagine.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but that was something that was installed on me. Working, it just gave me a good base. But my brother Joe as well, he worked before playing. Um, Cookie, my little brother, still playing, but he works at the same time, and always, I think it gives you a good base when you work. It just you don't take opportunities like that for granted. I don't think so.
Right, and how did the coaching the kids come about, mate? Because that's something probably nobody knew about you.
Yeah, well, I wanted to go back to school and do like personal training and stuff. It interests me, the sports and all that stuff, and all the
Yeah.
gym and all that. And I got my degree while I was working. I was doing two things at the same time, so I got two diplomas in France for coaching um and for personal training, like in the gym and working in the gym and that. And then one of the it was the under 16s team for Dragons, like a school team. They needed someone to do that job, and I was doing it for them in the afternoons, just running the weight sessions and stuff like that.
Yeah, tricky age group, that tea.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, some funny characters, but
Yeah. Well, I imagine it was like unbelievable for them to see you doing it because of the journey you were already on, mate. And
yeah, but I don't
they
think
want
they
to
see.
be T,
I
don't
didn't.
they?
Yeah, I didn't want them to see it like that though. I was more like their mate, to be honest. When I was taking them in the gym, they were showing me pictures of girls and all that stuff, and that age.
Yeah.
And my little brother was in that team as well, so they would always just have a laugh with me. I was just one of the boys, which I liked, preferred that, not the person that has to tell them what to do. Just they can have a laugh with me,
Nurture
and yeah, it
rather
was
than
good.
dictate, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. It was one of the boys, which I
Yeah.
preferred.
Right. And how did that season go then, mate, once you've made your debut? What was so before we go into it, what was the targeted games that you wanted to play that year?
I just honestly, I was just stoked that I got to play one that year. It was like and I signed my first pro contract as well before that game, which the contract went from the end of 2022 to the end of 2023. So it was for this year, last year, and the year before that. For me, I was stoked, and it just I was only wanted to play I was lucky enough to play three, but I only wanted to play one that year. Like I was happy with one. I was very satisfied, but yeah, played that game. We lost. My debut, and then I played the week after that against Wakefield.
No, mate, it's like you said, considering you were on the verge of jacking in and going home to being a fully fledged full time member of Catalan's team and competing week in, week out, isn't it? It's
Yeah, it's
some story.
yeah, it's yeah. But I think everyone's like got stories like that as well. It was never easy for anyone that path.
Yeah.
The path of becoming a professional as well. But yeah, so I played against Wakefield the second game. The week after that, I actually got suspended that game for a spear tackle, and that's when I got in heaps of trouble. Not just from the coach, but from my dad as well. When he started telling me about that you can get away with that stuff in reserve grade and being dumb and being ill disciplined, but you can't get away with that in first grade. It's cutthroat, and they'll get rid of you as quick as they got you if you do that. Um,
That's fair enough, mate, isn't it? Like you said,
yeah,
straight to the point from your dad.
yeah, it's pulled
Yeah.
my head in pretty much. I had to pull my head in. Um, and then yeah, my last game that year was against Wigan when we took all of the young fellas over to play against Wigan, and there was about 10 fellas that debuted in our team. That was massive. It was a massive game. You know, playing against fellas that I
Well,
play with now, but
bit
they had their,
bizarre.
yeah, but they had their full team and they were the team to beat. So
Yeah. It all stands you in good stead though, mate, don't it? That's every step so far we've spoke about is all about transitioning into the player you want to be, mate. And you've got to take a few hidings to get to where you want to get to, aren't you?
yeah, 100%.
Right, mate. So when the opportunity to go on loan with Toulouse come about,
Um, so this was in the middle of last year, in just it was maybe in June. Um, a lot of the players were coming back from injury at Catalans as well, and he still wanted me to be part of the mix, but you can't not play and then jump back in and be sweet. I'm someone that needs game time and I need to play as well to keep fit. Um,
yeah.
and we have a dual registration with Toulouse. We had a dual registration with Toulouse at Catalans, and yeah, they sent me there on loan. It was probably one of my highlights of the year, to be honest. Meeting guys down there and seeing how it is down there, and meeting a lot of new fellas down there. I love that. I love the experience there that I had. It was something I'll keep forever, man.
So was that something before you went there you embraced, or was you a bit like, I want to
Um,
play here?
100%. I think everyone gets that. Oh, I want to play at first Super League. I want to play that. But when you go there, when I went there, it sort of humbled me straight away, seeing how they train, how the boys are there, and and seeing the guys that play there, what they've done in their career. I was a nobody to what they were. You have the likes of that Sita Akuala, sorry, and you had Harrison Hansen as well, who's a massive Wigan legend. Tom Peru, guys like that that were just they yeah they looked after me heaps when I went there.
And are you someone that you don't mind picking the brains, T? So
Oh,
will you go
100%.
over and ask
I
for
think I'm
tips
a
and
bit too.
hints
I
and
think I'm a bit too much like that. I think
you can't
I
be
talk.
too much.
I think I just ask them random questions. Like I'm someone like that, and then some of the boys crack up about it. They'll be like, like I'll go that to anyone, especially those guys. I was always hanging around them, just trying to sponge off stuff that they were telling me of knowledge. About everything, everything.
Yeah. And when you went back, mate, did you feel a better player due to the dual reg? And did you feel ready to return then?
Yeah, so I think that's what it sort of made me enjoy, like learn how to enjoy footy, and what it really meant to when you're playing good and how it can. I felt bad because I got suspended there as well for a an incident at Featherstone when we played in Featherstone, and I got yellow carded, but I got 2 game ban for for something.
Yeah.
But then to go in there on the Monday, the coach sent me back there on the Monday to play because I was getting suspended, but I wouldn't kick in until the week after that. So I was allowed to play the game out the weekend after. And going to have to apologize in front of the whole team and seeing the boys that I let the boys down, and that's what hurt me. That's why I was like, I got to pull my head out. I can't do that.
How do you find the travelling from France to play, mate? Was it a bit like, oh, again? Because I know, like you said, fans expect it to be the ultimate, and sometimes it's just you're human, mate. You're knackered. You've got stuff going on at home. You've got
Yeah,
niggles.
I think it's very hard, but I think that's what makes Catalans. That's what's very special about Catalans is that everyone's in the same boat as well. Like you said, everyone's got things going on at home, and um, it's I've got to say it is hard. It's a hard one. But yeah, I can't see them. They've always been like that, and that's what that team is based on is traveling and winning and they've I think that's come in the last maybe 5 years. I'd say is the consistency in that club as well. So
Or something definitely changed there, mate, hasn't it? It's not a guaranteed home win against Catalans anymore, is it?
nah, not anymore.
No.
I think that
Yeah,
they got the right people in the right spots as well. So
yeah. And I'm not asking you to badmouth anyone, mate, but how is it standing in front of a disciplinary committee or on a video link? Is it awkward? Is it a bit shitty?
it made me feel bad. Out of anything, it makes me feel terrible. Because it's just like it's not right there and it's blatant, it's stupid. But not only that, it lets your team down. So I think that's the thing that kills me. That kills you is that you just know that you got to walk in there for your team. But when you get sent off Simbin, you just look at the boys that are on there on the field and they're having to defend and play for you because you stuffed up.
You don't need reminding, I imagine, mate, do you?
No, they never do,
Yeah,
but you feel it. You feel that you even know yourself it's your fault. So
yeah. Right. And when the move come or the talks about extending a contract out, mate, what happened around leaving Catalan? Would they have kept you? Was the offer there, or was Wigan
yeah,
too good
yeah,
to refuse?
yeah. I think it was a bit I wouldn't say too. It was too good to refuse, but I just really I'm still a young player and playing with fellas in that team that come from Wigan. You have Sammy Tompkins, probably one of the goats of the game. Mickey Mack as well. Put him up there with one of the legends of the game, the goats of the game as well, and of English rugby league and Roman Navarrete as well. What he brought to the team last year, and you got fellas like that have been there and they run the team. They run Catalans, and everyone respects them and what the player they are on and off the field is. It sort of intrigued me always. The professional, the ultimate professional. Um, and that's why when I had Wigan call me, um, I was very lucky as well, and I wanted to learn as much as I could, and I feel like for my age, I don't know if I would get an opportunity like this later on. So I would like to learn as much as I can now, and and then see where it takes me.
Totally understandable, mate. Anyone else reach out? And how does
Yeah,
that work?
yeah. There's obviously there's a couple clubs as well that reached out, but I'd rather keep that unsaid.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I'm not asking for it. It's just
Yeah,
fascinating how people can, because I
yeah. There
imagine
was
some people want to be in your shoes and want them offers, but don't get them.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's why I see myself as very lucky, to be honest, to have that to have had that from teams from other teams and offers from clubs that are they're big clubs, like Wigan, and even Catalans wanted to extend me. I was very lucky. There's people that don't really get that, and that's why always saw myself as lucky. It's a blessing.
Also, it's about people realizing Tiaki Chan is Tiaki Chan, not Jason's son, not Joey's brother. You are you, and you're gonna go and put yourself out there and show who you are. And at the minute, mate, other than a couple of other clubs, I don't think there's a better place to be than Wigan. Looking at recruitment, looking at the setup, looking how close you all look.
Yeah, yeah. I think that yeah, it's very different here, and I'm loving it every minute here at Wigan. I can't speak highly enough of the place, and everyone that's involved. Everyone involved, like from the staff to the players to the office ladies to the to the managers to everyone. Like everyone looks after everyone. The kit man. Yeah, it's a good place to be. The culture here is amazing, and that's why I'm just trying to be a sponge and learn as much as I can here.
It looks like you've been there forever. Like I said, you look on the socials, mate, and you're front, middle, and centre. You're happy. Everybody's happy, and you. There doesn't look like anyone isn't buying into what PT wants to do.
Yeah, I think I think yeah, exactly that. I think we everyone's bought in and everyone's buying in, and we want to be here. And there's no one in this team that is just sitting and wanting just to tag along. I think everyone's fighting for a spot here, and it's a healthy competition. Everyone's hungry, especially the young boys coming through. You got some young boys like Zach Eki, Jacob Douglas, Tom Forber, Mako. They all push the stars to be better. They all push each other to be better. And I think that's massive. Having those boys in here just changes everything.
A culture that you'll thrive in. That see, do you as much as you can do it self-discipline. There's no harm in knowing someone's up your ass, is there?
No, I think that's what's the best thing about this club is that there's no off days when we train. Everyone's giving 110% all the time. Everyone wants to get better. Everyone wants a spot. And it's a healthy competition.
Right, mate. I don't mean to go too cliche on you and that, but what are your ambitions this year, mate?
Um, Obviously my ambition is just to write my name down in history in this club. Um, to get a what's it called? A heritage number to play a game, to play for this club. It's just my obviously my ultimate goal.
And
Um,
then collectively, what would
collective,
what would you say is the limit for Wigan? Because on recruitment, mate, it looks like the sky's the limit.
yeah. I'm not going to jinx us or say anything that,
Oh,
but
sorry.
it's all right. But I know that every club's after the same thing, and I think
Yeah,
that's what we want to do, and our heads all focused on that. We're all on board to do that. We're all on board to do that to win. That's what we want.
right, mate. So I've got a few daft questions for you, if that's all right.
That's all right.
So, any pre-match superstitions? You're quite a
Um,
chilled guy, aren't you? Or it comes
yeah,
across like you are.
I'd say that like routine. I wouldn't call them superstitions. I think the only one is putting my right sock on before my left,
Right.
and my left boot on before my right. Like that's my only
Okay.
proper superstition. But no, apart from that, I'm just chill.
So the toughest player you played with and against, and the definition of toughest is very different for everybody. Doesn't mean he's gonna knock you out with a dig. It could be a big carry, a big tackle.
Um, toughest player I've played with, Mickey McAlorum, easily.
Yeah, he's up
Um,
there. He's been mentioned a few times.
yeah, he's evil man. He's a freak. Um, the, the toughest player I've played against. Uh, I'd say big Sam Cassiano. Trying to
Yeah,
tackle, trying to tackle him is like trying to tackle a brick wall. So yeah, I'd say playing against him last year for Warrington, he's a hard man to take. When he played for Catalans, he was probably the hardest man to tackle in Super League.
plus he'll know all the dark arts. He's a seasoned pro, and he knows where to put his arms and his levers. And
Oh, he knows everything. He's not
like, mate, your favourite away ground you've played at?
Wigan. When I
Yeah,
was playing, yeah, like it sounds pretty cliche, but yeah, it was Wigan was probably my favorite place I played at. That first year when I debuted that year, played at Wigan at the end. There was I think everyone was looking around like, whoa, like, this is the real deal.
yeah. Do you prefer the newer ones, mate? Do you like the new stadiums?
Like the rugby stadiums.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Wigan's one. I know, like, what are you talking? Old stadiums? What do you mean?
As in like Casses or Wakefields. Do you prefer the Wiggins and Hulls to the Casses and Wakefields?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah,
You like,
I
yeah.
think that. Yeah. I do love Wiggins ground. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love all the grounds, but yeah, Wiggins probably my favorite ground to go to when I had to go there.
Yeah. So if you could go back, mate, and tell that 9 year old T something, what would it be?
Um, yeah, just to work hard. And be. I know everyone will probably say trust the process. You do. But yeah, just to work hard and lows are lows, but highs are really high. And if you work hard enough at something, you can't go wrong. Can't be disappointed if you try hard to try to get something that you want.
I like it, mate, because you're not scared of hard work. That's been one of the main things. Your work rate's right up there, mate, whether it's with a ball in your hand or not.
Yeah, I try. I'm trying. I'm still learning all that, but yeah, I'm trying.
You're a young man, mate. It'll come, won't it? You've got to, like you said, be patient, but enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're out with the lads, mate, you've had a few beers and the microphone ends up in your hand, what karaoke song are you giving us?
Ah. Oh, we done one with Tyler actually when we was no beers, but we were just doing a karaoke one of the nights. We done walking in Memphis.
Yeah.
Um, he loves it. I'll probably have to say, um, oh, can't give you one, man. Far out. I'm not all about that karaoke stuff, man. Probably
No,
your man.
I need beers, me,
I got
mate.
it.
I
Yeah,
can't do it sober.
your man, John Turner.
Yeah. Right, mate. I appreciate your career's really young and you're really about to kick off. And if you can, that would be great. If you can't, I understand. But a 1 to 13 that you've played with from being a kid to now.
Number one, Sam Tompkins.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'd have to like if going off would have been between Wigan or Catalans to be honest. Uh, on the wing, Tom Johnston, freak. Um, on the other wing, I'd throw Abbas Miski. Um, in the centers, Dean Fire and Jake
Yeah.
Wardle. Um, in the halves, Mitchell Pearce and Tyrone May. Um, why am I at now? Front row.
Yeah.
No, second row, second rows. Matt Whitley,
Yeah.
Matt Whitley, absolute freak, and yeah, either Willie Iso or Liam Farrell. I think both of them are outstanding. Yeah, that's why they've played that many games they have. Um, so front rowers, I'm nine Mickey.
Yeah.
Um, oh, sorry, I'll put my brother in the second row.
No worries.
Put Whitley and my brother in the second row. Um,
Yeah.
um, front rowers, Cassiano, big Cass.
Yeah.
Um, at lock, Ben Garcia.
What do
The
you want
other,
from your 13, T? Do you want a carrier or a distributor, or do you like a hybrid player?
I think I like a hybrid. That's why I'd be putting Benny Garcia there. Like
He can
he's
do it
just
both, can't he?
he can do it. Yeah, and the other front row I'd put Siwa Taukeiaho.
Right, mate. Just a few things. So when France come along, was that an easy decision, mate, to rep France?
Um, yeah, I was a bit nervous at first. Obviously, I'm not my heritage isn't French. I'm not French born or raised, but I do feel like this place, like France, is a home to me as well. I've been living there for 7 years. I was living there, so I can't. Couldn't say no to that opportunity to play, and if I get the opportunity, I'll play again. Obviously, my heritage is Samoan, Kiwi, and I'm born as well in Australia. But growing up in my from my teens to my early 20s in France, I sort of see myself as French, and I do love the culture there, and I was very lucky to get that opportunity to play for them, and I'll play for them again if the opportunity comes.
And is it as intense as a club game, mate? Do you find it like stimulating to be involved? Are you looking for involvement? How is the international game in your view, and how did you find it?
The international games are a lot different, very
Yeah,
different. I think when you play for international, everyone plays good. You play international, you play for your country, don't you? So I feel like you don't really you empty the tank. You want to make sure that you leave an impression that your country would be proud of. I guess I think that's how everyone looks at it.